folks, welcome to my second video and welcome to my kitchen. I'm not in the garage today just because I wanted to do this inside with better lighting. I'm going to do a slight little review, kind of a review or basically just showing you something. The Fox Rage Voyager Lure Rucksack. I'm absolutely chuffed with it. Now, what made me think about doing this video is I actually looked for reviews and looked for videos on this myself, and the only one which seemed to be half decent, I couldn't understand what the guy was saying, because I think he was where was he from? I think he's German or something like that. So I couldn't find any information about it, and I just wanted, before I actually took the plunge and bought it, I just wanted a closer look at just seeing if that's going to be enough space for me. Now, when it comes to luggage that I'm carrying around, when it comes to lure fishing, I've never ever been happy and content with the amount that I'm actually taking around. So I've either found that my boxes and my bags, they just haven't had enough room in there for everything for me to feel confident enough to be able to take the gear that I need. And I absolutely hate having to compile a bag from other bags just for the sake of one sitting. Sometimes you might only shoot out for a couple of hours, but you could get through, 10, 12, 15 lures in that time. It is quite excessive, but sometimes if you can afford to do that, or if you're on an area that you've got very limited swims, so you've only got so many places, you can change your lure 2 or 3 times on each, and it does add up. And you can do that in a short space of time and still manage to work the lures to the full potential. And just to find what works, I think that when you are fishing with a time scale, if you have only got a couple of hours until it goes dark and you have to be home to sort the kids out, or your missus is getting in, so you've got to cook a tea, whatever it might be, I think that some people, they do tend to stick with one thing too much, and you can tend to find that if you fished it for half an hour at various different depths, if you're able to, if the fish ain't there, you're not going to catch them. But equally, the fish could be there, but they don't want that today. They're not in the mood for that, or maybe they've wised up to that sort of thing. Especially if you've got a couple of fish that are in one lair all the time. You need to trick them. You need to fool them and get them into thinking that this is a new thing. Fish do wise up, as you probably already know. Fish do wise up. The reservoir where I locally fish, that place there, I have blanked and blanked and blanked for months and months and months. And I fished every single lure in my box. And one thing I've never tried, because it's a relatively clear water, and I was always under the assumption that Fire Tiger was better for dirty water, was Fire Tiger. So I started fishing with Fire Tiger. I haven't blanked every single time that I've been there now. I've caught every single time. So for me, Fire Tiger works in that specific place. Whereas you can chuck everything else, you chuck the most natural, 4Ds, 3Ds, and they're not interested. They don't want it. Anyway, back to the bag. I've been through the normal rucksacks where you bought the compartment boxes, which is just your normal Wilkinson's ones, or you'll buy the Savage Gear boxes, little compartment boxes, 2 clips, you move everything around to fit all your lures in. I've had them with a general rucksack. Now, they work, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't happy with the layout of things. I felt like I couldn't have everything that I might have needed for a session, especially if it's an all-day session. If you're going home, you're going out in the morning and you're coming home, mid-afternoon, sort of early, late evening, there's not enough in there. And I don't like having to compile one bag from other bags. I like just to have something that is all set there, it's all ready. I pick that up. The way that I do the majority of my lure fishing is I have 4 main setups. They're all on the wall in the garage. I like to have one bag. I like to have my net, and I've got my rod. That's it. So ideally 3 things I take with me. Net fits on my bag normally, so you're not carrying that. So all you've got in one hand is a rod and your bag on the back, and it's perfect. Now, because I wasn't happy with these rucksacks which I was using, I tend to find... Sorry about that, folks. My little girl just needed a little bit of loving. So she gets out a bit every now and then. She gets a little bit stressed. So anyway... and coughing. You wouldn't believe how many times I've actually done, how many takes I've done on this video, just trying to talk. So anyway, tried the standard generalised rucksacks. Wasn't overly impressed with how it was. I just felt there was something missing. So I ended up buying myself the Grays Prowler. Now the Grays Prowler, from what I've gathered, it comes in 3 sizes. I don't know if there is a small, if to make it 4, I don't know. But I saw the medium, the large. So I saw those two, and I ended up thinking medium is quite universally small. It's medium is medium. It's generally not enough. For somebody that's content just taking 10, 12 lures, you know, a couple of boxes, absolutely fine. But for me, it wasn't going to be enough. So I ended up going for the large. Now when it come, at first I thought this could work. Bought it, it was a good box. I did like the way that it was kitted out. I liked the way that the pockets were. There's little straps that you've got on the inside. Excuse me, fits all your tools and everything on perfect. I was very, very happy with it. But it was down to the space again. I've got 4 compartment boxes that fit in there. And yes, things went in there, and yes, there was enough room in there. But if you were to add 2 or 3 more lures to your collection that you'd like to take, there wasn't enough room. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the kind of person, because you're always going to be buying lures, but I'm not saying nothing's going to be big enough so you need to find a suitcase. You know, you don't have to go and take a suitcase with you, because you still want to be travelling light. Like I say, the simplicity of lure fishing is, for me, 3 items. You know, bag, net, rod. That's it. That's generally all I tend to take. But this one, it just wasn't enough, so I sent it back. I got the XL. Now, in my opinion, the XL version of the Grays Prowler, it didn't warrant that next level status. It didn't warrant, it should have been called the large plus. It wasn't big enough to go one step up. So took one look at that, I just wasn't happy with that one, so I ended up sending that back also. And then it brought me to the Savage Gear rucksack. Now I am very much a Savage Gear nut. I am a little bit of a Savage Gear tart. I do like their stuff. I like them because of the simplicity. I like them because they're relatively cheap. Some stuff is quite expensive. But they work, you know, they catch fish. And sometimes, I think with all lures, they do take a little bit of a tweaking, but more so a personal preference thing, you know. So, again, I bought that one. Now, when this come, I thought it was going to be a lot better. The pictures, the reviews and everything were good. But for me, it still didn't work. It wasn't enough. So I ended up selling that one. So I put my lures in there. I just wasn't happy with the amount of space that I had, but with still keeping it light. So I've set myself quite a tricky task. That brings me to the main part of this video. I then come across the Fox Rage, the Voyager rucksack. And again, I did look and try and find information because of my previous experiences I've found with lure boxes and bags. I needed that little bit of reassurance almost, so I couldn't find anything. So I took the plunge and I bought it. And I have to say, to date, it is the best bag and one of the best quality bags I have ever bought for fishing. For the space that you get, for the price that you pay, it's fantastic. I cannot fault it in the slightest. So we'll take a little bit of a look at it. I'm not going to bore you with too much of an in-depth review. I'm hoping this is going to be a more beneficial video for people that are thinking about buying the bag. So not necessarily sitting there reading, you know, going deep into things and what the pockets are made of and what's this. It's waterproof and that's it. So that's what it's made of. It's made of waterproof stuff. So that's all you need to know when it comes to that side. If you do want a more thorough thing, I'm sure you'll be able to find the information on the website. Again, review-wise, video reviews, it's quite a tricky sort of thing. You can't really tend to find much on there. So anyway, I'll just move the camera out and then we'll just take a little look at what's going on here. And I'll just put the light on as well. Okay. So as far as the bag goes itself, just move that down slightly. So that is the bag. So from the way I was talking, you were probably going to expect me to be carrying a bloody big suitcase around with me. But it was more just the overall, you know, bag itself. It just really, really works for me personally. Again, I am a guy that I like to take, not everything that I own, but the majority of stuff that I might need in a situation, I like to take that. So when it comes to the basis of this, you've got 5 main compartments. So you've got bottom section, you've got your middle section, your top and your 2 sides. So quite universal when it comes to lure bags. Now with this one itself, I did like the fact that you've got your unhooking mat, little straps there. So your straps can go in there, or sometimes I'll keep my unhooking mat inside my net, so it means I can put my tripod across there if I want to do a bit of filming, anything along them lines. So I'll start off with the front pocket that you've got here. Now, the front pocket here, lovely, lovely, lovely zips. They're just super, super smooth. You've got no sort of resistance on there at all. It's really, really nice. I think that makes quite a difference. Now in there, you do get your 4 basic boxes. I think these are just shy of 30 centimetres, I think, so they're quite a good size. And they're decent boxes as well, they're quite well made. Now, so for me, I've got 13 centimetre 4-plays, which is, they're always me go-to lure if I'm sort of scouring the depths. I do like to keep things relatively organised. A couple of them slightly modified on there. That was thanks to Phil Blakey, or Blakely, whatever his name is. Saw him do that, so I thought I'd have a go on the 13s. Yet to fish it yet, but even still. So, one of the boxes. So that's how that works for there. Second box, I tend to keep my plugs that I'll fish slightly deeper. Some of these here are my homemade. These ones, homemade and home sprayed. So little perch patterns, things like that. But again, they fish quite deep, so this is why I like to have them in my boxes as well, because you can use smaller and some of the bigger lures as well. So within this little setup here, so I've got my deeper plugs in there. So some of the deeper cranks, crucian cranks, the Dyro Pro Rex, pike patterns, some of the Salmo Chubby something I think he's called, or a Fatty or something like that. A couple of jerk baits that you can weight down, a couple of weighted jerk baits which they are only small but still fish slightly deeper. So they work, again, all in one box. Another box, I've got my lighter stuff, so if I want to fish sort of mid to surface, I've got some of the lighter stuff there. Equally, you can still fish slightly deeper with some of these, but it's the way that I like to work with them. So, compartment number 3. And then in the last one, I've just got all of my soft plastics in there. So a couple of the smaller line throughs, a couple of the Pro Rex just on them, Chabruska I believe they're called, Chabruska, just little lead jig heads like this. But again, they work, and I really like using them with the Savage soft 4-plays. They work extremely well. So again, so you've got your 4 compartments there. Now that would be enough, and that is enough for quite a few people. That's more than enough for quite a few people. But again, I just felt like I just needed that little something more for me personally. So that's when I was extremely chuffed to find out that you haven't just got that for your lure boxes. You can add more if you want to. Now, to one of the side pockets, this actually comes with this box also. That would be ideal to keep your little spoons, spinners, as I've done here, just your little odds and ends. So your spares, a couple more sort of spare jig heads in there, got a few of the offset hooks in there, rat's tails, these little glass rattles which are great just to add into lures, just if you're unsure. A few more of the downside weights, the Chabruskas, or Cherubuska, whatever they're called. But again, great little compartment box, and you can probably fit 2 of these this size in there. Quite easy, I'd say. You can get your hand down there easy. So you can add another box there if you want to. Centre pocket in here, not one of the biggest pockets, but it's there for a purpose. It serves you. It's stuff that you need. Now, in this pocket here, you've got 2 smaller pockets, which I've just got loading wire, small little blade, some spare leaders. I generally make all my leaders up from titanium, but sometimes I think you just need a little bit more movement, so I always keep a pack in there, just in case. You've got a big compartment at the back there, which no doubt you can find and put stuff in. But with this section as well, you can always keep maybe your sling, or your unhooking mat if it's one of them small fold-out ones. You can keep your weighing sling, your scales, anything like that. It'll fit in there, which is great, and not compromising your space. When you get to the other side, and in this side here, you've got another compartment, which is obviously the same as the other one. Now, it didn't come with a box in this one. I only come with the one box. And in here, I've got my sling, I've got my scales, I've got my long nose pliers, just in case you do get a deep hooked fish. And I've also got my bowl croppers, just in case you do get a deep hooked fish again, if you do need to release it. So that comes there, everything fits nice in there, and it doesn't intrude, it doesn't get in your way, whatever that word is. So it doesn't get in your road. Now with the handle at the back, I was really pleased to find it's a nice solid, you know, foam handle. I'm really impressed with just the quality of that. It just feels like it's meant to be there. It feels like it's solid, you know, all the stitching and everything is just really nice. Now what I do, just so I've got one hand free for either texting or on my vape or something, when I'm walking I'll put my net. I've got the Savage Gear rubberized mesh, the large size, and that just folds up. So just with a clip on there, clip on the net, that folds nicely over the bag. So then when I'm walking, all of that is just dangling down here, which is great, so it's out my road. The handles and the straps I was super impressed with. I don't really know if you can see this properly on the camera, but all of your foam padding that you've got in here, even that just feels of exceptional quality. Really good. You've got a couple of your straps there, which I'm sure you can put your little clips on, and you can chuck your scissors on there, or you know, anything that you have on, little pulley cords, things like that. The buckles themselves, now this is one thing I found with a lot of bags, and especially the ones that I was listing before, they're not up to much cop. So you get your buckles themselves, but you can put a good bit of pressure on them, and they give, whereas this one, it doesn't. See, that's quite a fair bit of pressure put on there, and it just feels like it's meant to be there, you know, and elasticated as well. Now, I personally don't really use this unless I'm going up and over everywhere, but that's bad for your smoking, so I don't tend to do that very often. But your padding that you've got on the back, you've got a nice thick, chunky lumbar pad on there, and then you've got two smaller sections each side, and it just fits nicely on your back, and then you've got the top of your back onto your shoulders, that sort of area, and it just makes it more comfortable to carry, which is brilliant. So now for the paper renaissance, or whatever they call it, paper resistance, was for me the top section in here. Now I'll just show you this, get the camera, show you a little bit closer. So in here there is just yet another chunky bit of space, which is absolutely perfect if you're a picky bugger like me. So I mean, in this bit now, I mean, I've not even used up half of the space in there. I've got my polarised glasses, I've got my gloves just in case it gets a little bit choppy, I've got a box of titanium traces that I make up, I've got GoPro batteries, memory cards, and then I have got yet another box which I keep all of my super small stuff in. So if I want to take much of my lighter setup, I could, if I wanted to, just take this, but because I don't use this primarily, it goes in the back. So with this stuff here, you could easily fit another 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd like 4, definitely 5, maybe. You can fit another 4 or 5 of those boxes. So if you didn't want to be carrying around your spare GoPro batteries or all of your titanium traces, which you've put in a little tub, and you know, your gloves and your glasses, you can fit more product in there, so you can fit more lures in there. Which at the present, I actually haven't got any more lures which I want to take, which warrant getting more boxes, but it's there if I want to. So again, going back to me being a fussy bugger, it really is a bonus to be able to do that, to have the option there. You have got a pouch as well at the back from a little zip, and that again is a deep space, and there I've just got my licenses, bottle of hand rub and a few crimps. So that in there, so that's even more space than that you can have. Now the thing that pleased me the most with this bag was when I was looking at it, and I was iffing and butting, I was looking at it at a $69.99 price range, which to me, I didn't think that was actually too bad money wise. I was contemplating that, and then I typed it in on Google again and went on shopping, and I found it for $54.99. Now for $54.99 and free postage, in my opinion, that's worth every single penny. You know, it is still quite a lot of money to fork out, and I do think that to an extent you are paying for the pretty tassels with an R on and the fact that it's Fox, but to me the construction of this is second to none, so I wouldn't mind paying that if it's going to last. You know, I've already been through £54 worth of cheaper rucksacks where you've been walking up bank and the handles fell off. you know, and then your strap snapped, things like that. So to me, this was just worth its weight. It really, really was. Again, scissors, things like that. There's just places that you can put things, and it is still super light. So with all of my stuff that I've got in there, it's everything I want to take and that I might need, and it's not weighing me down. You know, I can still, if I want to, I can put my GoPro under here and things in there, and by the time you have got, you know, maybe a packet of butties in there, and you have got, you know, a couple of bottles of water in there, it is going to weigh you down a little bit more, obviously, but it's not too much. So that's really the idea of this video, was just to show that this is a great bit of kit for anybody that's thinking of buying it. I'm sure people have already got one and they didn't like it, you know, people have maybe thought about doing a review, never got around to them, but this was just for sort of aimed at the people that were like me, that were contemplating buying this same unit, thinking, you know, I don't know, do I, don't I, should I, shan't I? I would say go for it, in my opinion. It is absolutely fantastic bit of kit. If you just, I can't remember the exact place I got it from. I think it was Total Tackle. I think they were called totaltackle.com or .co.uk. But if you just type in Fox Rage Voyager Rucksack on Google, and then you had to type in, sorry, you click on the shopping. It was 2 or 3 lines down from there, so you will see the price difference on there, and it was the cheaper one. So again, just hopefully this will help some of you if you're deciding. I might actually do another update on this in a few months, just to see. I've got a lot planned over these next few months, especially coming up to winter and things, so it will be taking a little bit of a beating, more so from the elements. So I might come on here in a few months and say, don't bother with this, Fox, it's absolutely awful, but I doubt it, to be totally honest with you. So again, thank you for hearing me mutter and having a bit of a chunner, and hopefully it'll help some of you. If you'd like to, feel free to subscribe, comment and like and whatever else you do on there. I am putting this channel together now, so I'm going to be reviewing little bits and bobs like this, and more the everyday fisherman I think it's going to be, because I don't tend to just stick to, you know, one brand, or I'll just use this or just use that. I do like to obviously try things that other people are using and see what works. Now at the minute I am leaning towards the Totally Savage stuff, but again, it's not just primarily, you know, that sort of layout. It is just the way that I'm finding things, and I'll buy something, and if it works I keep it. If it doesn't work, I'll chuck it away and next, you know, that's how it goes. So hopefully it's going to be of use to people that are contemplating, you know, and again, there's no frills sort of thing with a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be not necessarily reviewing, but just chunnering on about. There's not really any frills attached with it. It's just, if I think it's nice, I think it works, I think it'll do better with this or that, I'm just going to tell you. That's it. And if you take it on board, fantastic, brilliant. If you don't, you know, that's just the way it goes. That's the whole point of these, is just for opinions. So anyway, thank you for listening, guys. And if you're out fishing this weekend, super tight lines, and I'm going up to Lake Windermere again, so fingers crossed, we'll have a couple of 20s. Cheers.